Hello, welcome to another edition of Chamber Chat. I'm Dr. Vail, Garvin, President and CEO of the Central Bucks Chamber of Commerce. We have with us today the President and CEO of Penn Community Bank, Jeane Vidoni. Jeane, welcome to Chamber Chat.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Vail. I'm really happy to be here.
I've been so excited about coming in this morning and chatting with you.
Me too.
About the bank. What makes Penn Community Bank so different? Because I see all your wonderful people out there. I see you on commercials. I see you as a leader, Jeane. Let's start there. Talk to me. What's it like to be a leader in our local community and regionally, for that matter?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, thank you for noticing. We've been working really hard since 2015 as Penn Community Bank to create
That when it was.
what you see. Yeah, August of 2015.
Oh.
So Penn Community Bank is still considered relatively new from a company name. However, we're such a fabric of the community, and I'm so glad that you're noticing our accomplishments and how we achieve things, which basically, from my perspective, is a leadership of collaboration from the bottom up.
That's one of the things I admire about you.
Yeah. So for me now, because we have built such a strong foundation, I'm really beginning to enjoy feeling the energy that kind of swells up from the ground up. And I always say to my team that now I'm they're pushing me, they're leading me. And it's really a sense of really positive energy. And of course the communities we're in are pretty vibrant.
Now let's talk about that a minute.
Yeah.
What areas of Pennsylvania are you in now?
So we operate in all of the surrounding counties.
Do you?
Philadelphia and the surrounding counties as far as doing business.
Okay.
Our branches right now are in Bucks and Montgomery counties.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we've been doing commercial lending for years within Philadelphia and the surrounding counties.
Oh, well, that's good to know. I know that you're active in the Union League in Philadelphia.
I am.
Are you enjoying that?
I am. I'm anxious to get back post-COVID.
Yes.
I admit I haven't spent a lot of time there recently, but we're getting back to things, which I'm really happy about.
Well, I love what the bank does in the community. Oh my goodness. You do so much dedicated work in the community, and your team, I love that phrase.
Yeah,
does
I'm
also.
very proud of that, and that's another thing that we never dictate. We actually have it pretty organized where team members identify what they're personally interested in. Yep, and we have representation on, oh my gosh, I think it's over 35 boards from our team.
What are some of them?
Hundreds of volunteers. We have representation, of course, on your Chamber of Commerce, the United Way of Bucks County, Habitat for Humanity, Penn Foundation. So a lot of
Have you ever gone to Habitat for Humanity and drilled nails?
Well, we do volunteer builds for Habitat for Humanity, and I always brag that pre-COVID, we put them out on our intranet, and people would volunteer. We had a waiting list of team members who wanted to do builds.
Our board has done.
Our directors have done builds together, and so very, very involved. And I've had the opportunity to hand the keys over.
Oh, that would be wonderful.
Oh my goodness, it's one of the most meaningful things. Yeah,
I mean,
it's great.
The chamber community supports our veterans, and we do that in our veterans community as well.
Yeah.
So tell me, some people don't understand the difference between a mutual bank and a regular normal bank. What's the difference?
Yeah, so the primary difference is the mutual charter has been around for quite a long time. Started in New England and in Philadelphia, kind of the eastern side. But a mutual bank doesn't have any outside investors. So we don't have a stock price, right? And we don't have outside investors or a required return that we have to meet, on a quarterly basis.
Sure.
And the impact of that, and really what it means for a potential customer of Penn Community Bank, is simply a longer term strategic view where we really just focus on our communities, our customers, because we don't have that shorter term pressure.
I
We
see.
still have to make money. As a
Right.
matter of fact, in some ways it's a little harder. We have to make money and then preserve and grow our capital. We can't go get more from outside.
Right.
So it's very exciting though. It feels more like a private and family business than it does a publicly held company, because we're not publicly held.
Right. Among other things, I
Mhm.
know you serve with the Federal Reserve Board.
Yes.
Can you talk to me for just a minute?
Yes. So first, it's the Federal Reserve's Community Banking Council. It's actually, the acronym is CDAC. So it's not
Okay.
the full board of the Federal Reserve, but it's an important part because we represent community banking across the country. And twice a
Okay.
year, Jerome Powell sits with us.
Oh, that's
And we
exciting.
give him our, from the street
Your
view of
input.
what's happening in our market. So I just got done with the most recent one
Tell me
earlier in
about it.
November, and it was awesome. Yeah, it's just so exciting to sit with other bank CEOs
Right.
across the country and report in from our districts. And I guess the summary, which might not be surprising if many of your members are reading in the news, but
Right.
inflation is somewhat of a concern. The supply chain issues are still with us. There are still some concerns about the virus, and yet the economic metrics are pretty solid and strong.
Can you give
right
us
now
just a
as we
few,
speak.
like where do you see everything going, say, in the next year?
I
And
think,
this is just a chat,
yeah,
so it's
and I
off the
think
cuff.
that this is just my opinion, and
Yeah.
I think the consensus among the bankers right now is that interest rates are not going to go up until later in 2022.
Ah, that's good to know.
That inflation will continue to be a concern. The Fed has always reported that it's transitory, which I think they still believe.
Yes.
However, you can, debate how long does transitory mean. So I think we're going to be in this particular mode for a little bit yet, and
Okay.
we're all navigating as best we can. But there's a high demand, and there's a lot of activity for many things out in the economy. So there still is a sense of optimism.
Now, you represent a lot of the entrepreneurs here in the area. Which industries do you see struggling the most, and how can the bank help those individuals, those restaurants?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think you serve with me on the Economic Recovery Council
Right.
for Bucks County, and you've heard some of those conversations, and we have gotten, the county has gotten some aid and some programs out to really help bridge the hospitality
We are
industry
very
over.
fortunate
And
to
it
have
was
a
really well
group-
run,
yes.
and we're seeing the results of that. So I think that
Right.
that's really, really good. But I would say that the labor shortage is what has impacted across industries.
Yes. Everywhere.
Businesses in Bucks County and throughout
Right.
the country. So the labor shortage has really impacted us. Manufacturing, and of course with hospitality, with restaurants, and as you know, Bucks County,
Right.
one of the primary markets that we're in is hospitality. I do get a sense though that it's getting better and we're navigating it.
Everyone
the
is
creativity
trying.
is,
That's right.
there have been some hours, I think you might have noticed some hours are impacted, or, a restaurant might have been closed on a Monday, now they're closed on a Monday and a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
But overall, the demand is there, and I know recently I've been out, in Doylestown Borough for dinner, and it's vibrant. I know that
It
Peddler's
is.
Village is vibrant. And
Was
and
there
that's-
this weekend.
And that's wonderful, right?
Was there
to
this
see.
weekend with my whole family.
Yeah. So there is a sense of optimism, which
Yeah.
I think I prefer.
I definitely
Right?
do too.
Yeah.
How did you manage through COVID?
Mm.
Do you mind if I ask that?
Sure.
How did you manage the bank through COVID?
Yeah, I think most of the businesses would report that, March of 2020 created an emergency situation where
Right.
we all were sent home and got shut down and tried to figure out how to
That's
navigate.
been difficult.
Yeah, and it's prolonged now, right? And we've had a lot of
Okay.
back and forth. But I would say that Penn Community Bank, we had daily meetings. I'm sure many of the businesses did, and just navigated as best we could. We are back, our
Thank
branches
you
are
for
open.
your efforts with PPP loans.
Yes, and PPP loans were, a program that
Yes.
the government decided that banks would be the distribution centers for, and that actually worked out well. And it really worked out well for community banks because we were
Yeah,
really
yeah.
able to connect with customers personally.
Right.
It was a very confusing time. And we've gained a lot of goodwill because of how the community banks in our area responded.
And that took a lot of quick innovation.
It did.
Innovation is the
and
key.
most of us were working from home.
Yes.
So we had the technology issues, but we were able to get those funds to the businesses. And I would say now more than ever, which again, I always look for the silver lining,
Right.
is that community banking has a renewed energy based upon small businesses and consumers recognizing what we really do, which is when
Right.
times are tough and you're confused and you need help and you need guidance, it goes well beyond calling an 800 number, right? And staying on hold and not knowing who you're
It's a
talking
name.
to. So yeah,
It's a name
yeah.
to
And there's
call
people
for
behind.
help.
Yeah,
That's right.
And so we've grown, and Penn Community Bank's not the only one, right? So community banking has grown across the country during this time period, and we're just excited to have that continue into the future.
We have a great group of banks here in
We
Bucks
do.
County.
Yeah.
We are so fortunate.
Yeah.
Jeane, one of the things I've read recently is that you are the most admired CEO from the Philadelphia Business Journal.
Well,
So congratulations.
Thank you for noticing that, and I'm always
That's
surprised.
wonderful.
Those awards are
Congratulations.
they're people nominate me and I don't know, and then I get surprised.
Yeah.
And I am flattered
great.
for that. It does mean a lot to me. It kind of validates what I try to wake up and do every morning. So
Yeah.
thank you for noticing that.
Sure.
I mean, more exciting than that, because it just happened recently.
What is that?
Is the Penn Community Bank's Human Resources Department won Human Resources Department of the Year, and that was a Greater Delaware Valley event.
That's impressive.
And I can tell you that we took a party bus, like one of those disco
Oh
party
my
buses.
gosh.
We took the entire HR department down, including the interns. We had no business winning. We didn't think we were going to win, although I kept saying we're winning until we're losing. And
That's a great
when it was
attitude.
announced, and we did, we won for the Human Resources Department of our size, within our
Yeah.
size category.
Congratulations.
And it was so gratifying to have Kirsten Palmieri, one of our HR executives, go up and accept that award and have us sit there and
Yeah.
watch that. And my HR director and I have actually worked together off and on since 1996. So for us to sit together and watch
That's
that
wonderful.
team receive that
What's
award.
like one thing
is
that
like-
you did with excellence?
From the human resources perspective. So really what they were judging and looking for was a company and an HR department that is a true partner to business units. Not just
Oh, okay.
right doing the payroll,
Yeah,
right, but really integrated and trained and experienced, but also caring, part of the culture.
Right.
And that's what we were recognized
Well,
for. So I'm very
congratulations.
proud of all of them. Yeah, it was great.
To close out our interview, I'd love to ask you, what's one more thing that you'd like to say to the business community, since we are a Chamber of Commerce?
Yeah.
What would you like to say before we close?
Well, first of all, I would say to you, Vail, I appreciate the chamber. Right?
Oh, thank
and
you.
I've been part of it
That's-
for
thank
quite
you.
a long time. And we
As
all,
past chair,
right,
I might
right,
add.
That's
Yes,
right.
thank you.
And we all know and recognize that it's the networking and the connections that occur among our business community,
Yes.
which really makes a difference. So I would say to you right now, in this time, the message that I'd like to get out is something that's not new. That is the continued commitment to each other, the commitment to local business, the commitment to do business with each other,
Yes.
support each other is really what's going to have us recover more quickly and then, thrive into the future. It's a wonderful place to be.
And one of the things that I tell everybody is buy local,
There you go.
support
Absolutely.
local,
Yeah.
especially at this time of year.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Jeane
Thank you
Vidoni,
for having me
President and
today. Yeah.
CEO of Penn Community Bank, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for tuning in once again to our Chamber Chat.